So we will continue on by trying to solve number 10. So, since we are adding -5, we're going to subtract -5 from both sides. Okay, now remember, when we have double negatives, that means that these two actually become a positive. So, since we are, for all purposes, adding 5 on both sides, on this side, let's go ahead and add 5 on the other side. So remember, because we have double negatives, this actually changed to an addition problem. So, we're left with n on the left side. The 5's cancel out. -8 plus 5 is -3. And we're not multiplying or dividing by negative numbers, so our sign will stay the same. So we replace one of these values with n and see which one leaves a true statement. So n is less than -3. Is 3 less than -3? No. -4 is less than -3, so that will work. And let's just make sure the other two will not work as well. -2 is not less than -3, and 13 is not less than -3. So the only possible answer is B, -4. Remember, this is an inequality, so inequalities can have more than one solution. So now we're on number 11. It says, which number line shows the correct solution to -4y minus 8? So, in order to do that, we have to solve this solution. Let's go ahead and put a box around our variable term. We have minus 8 left. So I'm going to get rid of the minus 8 first by adding 8 to both sides. Those 8's cancel out, and I'm left with -4y. -20 plus 8 gives me -12. I am not multiplying or dividing by negative numbers, so my sign stays the same. Now, I'm left with -4y greater than -12. So to get y by itself, I'm going to divide by -4 on both sides. I left with y on one side. -12 divided by -4 gives me +3. Now, did I divide or multiply by a negative number? Yes, I did. I divided by -4. So because I did that, my sign will flip. So y is greater than, y is less than or equal to 3. So let's eliminate possible choices. So I have my circle is actually going to be closed because it has the equal to sign. So A won't work and C will not work. Now just look for the one where y is less than 3. So my arrow is going to be pointing to the left. So B will be my correct answer because my arrow is pointing to the left. So number 12 asks me which graph represents the solution to the inequality 3x plus 5 less than 17. So I could also do this where I go ahead and eliminate two of my answer choices. So because of my sign, this tells me that my circle will be open. So we know that C and D are not going to be possible. So keep that in mind as we are solving this inequality. So let's go ahead and solve the inequality. So I'm just going to switch screens real quick so that we'll have some room to solve this. So let's put a box around our variable term. And that shows me that whatever is outside the box, that's what I need to get rid of first. I'm going to get rid of 5 by subtracting 5 from both sides. I'm left with 3x. Let me make sure I'm writing down the correct number. 3x. 17 minus 5 is 12. I did not multiply or divide by a negative number, so my sign stays the same. Now 3x, let's get rid of the 3 by dividing by 3 on both sides. Now x is by itself. 12 divided by 3 is 4. I did not multiply or divide by a negative number, so x is less than 4. So now let's switch back to our next screen. So we're looking for x less than 4. So less than means that our arrow should be going to the left. So the only possible answer that will work is A, because my answer is going to the left. And all these numbers are smaller than 4. So for number 13, we have to identify the graph that represents the solution to that inequality. We can go ahead and eliminate 2 answers by looking at our sign. Our sign is greater than or equal to, which tells us that our circle will be closed. So we will not use C or D. But we can go ahead and switch to the next screen and solve our inequality to figure out if A or B is correct. So I'm going to put a box around my variable term, and I'm left with plus 4. So I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. I'm going to bring down my negative 8y. 28 minus 4 is 24. Now, I did not multiply or divide by a negative number, so my sign stays the same. Now, I'm going to separate the negative a and the y by dividing by negative 8 on both sides. The negative 8 cancels out. Bring down my y. 24 divided by negative 8 is negative 3. Now, I did divide by a negative number, so I flipped my sign. So y is less than or equal to negative 3. Now let's switch back to our other screen. So we're only dealing with A and B. So y is less than or equal to negative 3. So my sign is going to go to the left. So A is our correct answer. So for number 14, you may be no less than 50 inches to ride the Intimidator roller coaster at King's Dominion. Let X represent height, which inequality represents possible heights that cannot ride the roller coaster. So let's identify our important information. No less than. X is going to represent the height, and we want to know the people who cannot ride the roller coaster. So one way I would do this is let's talk about who can ride the roller coaster. So yes to riding the roller coaster. So it says no less than 50 inches. No less than. So you can't be, so you have to be greater than 50 inches in order to ride. Your height, which is X, has to be greater than, let me flip my sign around. Make sure I have the correct sign. Have to be greater than 50 inches in order to ride. Okay, because another way to say no less than means greater than. Okay, so let's talk about, since you have to be greater than 50 inches to ride, which means you can be 51 inches, you can be 52. Let's talk about who cannot ride. So anyone who is under 50 inches cannot ride. Okay, so if you're 49 inches, you cannot ride. If you are 48 inches, you cannot ride. So let's look over our answer choices and let's do some elimination. So X says not equal to 50 inches. We're not dealing with not equal to, so that won't be our answer choice. Look at A. It says X is greater than or equal to 50 inches. But if you're greater than or equal to 50 inches, you fall in this no less than category, so you can write it. But they want to know who cannot write it. So A will not work. Okay? Looking at C and D, X is greater than 50 inches. So that's under the yes column, so you can write it. But we want to know who cannot. So people who are under the 50 inches cannot. So D will be your correct answer. Number 15, Maria wants to save up to $20 for a gift for her friend. She already has $5. Which inequality could be used to find the amount of money Maria needs to be able to purchase a gift? Let's identify important information we need. She needs to save up to $20. She already has $5. Okay? So let's figure out what sign we're going to use. Up to $20 means that even if she gets $20, she is okay. So,
happening.
So now we've identified the important information we need in order to solve this inequality. So we always put our total on one side by itself. In this case, it's our goal. So she wants up to $20. So I'm going to go ahead and put 20 on the right hand side. And I'm doing that because I'm looking at my answer choices and my 20 is on the right hand side. Now up to, that means anything that she gets that's more than 20, she is totally okay. Or even if she gets 20, she is okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put the greater than sign on in front of the 20. And then what she has and what she needs to work up to reach her goal on the other side. So we know she has $5. And so if we add anything on to that $5, that will tell us what she could raise. So we need to find the amount of money she needs. So we'll let that be X. So this is what she has, the $5. This is what she needs, and this is her goal that she's trying to get to. So anything that is greater than that 20 will work. So what matches that inequality that we wrote? D. So D is our correct answer. Now let's focus on our last question. 16. The students of a middle school are selling homemade candles to raise money for a charity. The candles will be sold for $7 each. If the students have already raised $35 and they want to raise at least $75, which number line shows the minimum number of additional candles they must sell? So, let's go ahead and identify the important information we need. So, we need to know our variable. Our variable tells us the number of additional candles that they will sell. We're going to let our variable be C. They've raised 35. That's what they have now. They want to raise at least 75, and the candles are sold for $7 each. So what is our total? They want to get at least 75. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put 75 on the right hand side by itself. And I'm going to put this sign, the greater than sign. So what we actually get on this is the greater than, and as long as we meet our goal of 75, we're okay. Okay, so let's talk about what we put on the left-hand side. Now, our constant is we have raised at least $35. So this is what we already have in the bank. So I'm going to put that down. We don't know how many candles we need to sell, but we know that our candles are $7 a piece. So to figure out how many candles I need to sell, I need to multiply 7 times the number of candles. And that's how we come up with our